All right, recording once again. What is up, guys? DJ Bone here. Trying to mess around with the settings a little bit more, getting all the levels correct for you, because I know in the past Studio Time series, my vocals was really low, and the audio that I was playing to you was like in your face. I apologize for that. Trying to get the levels with this dynamic mic because on my sound interface I have to bump up the gain all the way to the max, and this microphone is not the greatest. It's a natty mic, whatever you want to call it. I believe my studio microphone, the MXL 990, kicked the butt because at first I thought the phantom power on my sound interface was dead, but I still don't know, honestly. Either or, I'm going to have to get a new mic or replace this sound interface so I can have a studio mic once again. But sadly, I don't have more than one studio mic, condenser microphone in order to test out my sound interface fully. The Focus Scarlett 6i6. To see if my phantom power just died. I won't know until I have another one at my disposal. But in the meantime, let's see if the levels for this is a lot better. So welcome back to Studio Time. This track I started working on last night, and it's literally just the beginning. You got your intro right here, build, and then just a section of a drop so far. I still need to do another section, a bridge, second drop, outro, yada, yada, yada. So from last night to opening up right now, this is what I've made so far. Check it out. Oh, and by the way, I'm not going to be playing through my speakers tonight. I realize that I should be using my headphones so that the audio isn't bleeding into the mic. Otherwise, I have to keep switching it on and off. But either or, it's all good. So we're going to try this method out with the headphones. So check it out.
Kush is my cologne, and I'm smoking out the zone.
And that's what I have so far. Okay, time to start brainstorming. All right, so this section here that you just heard, I want to figure out how to incorporate similarities of the bass synths into the next section to try to keep it all conformed, you know? I don't want to just start adding in different bass synths that are like totally left field, right field, and it's like, oh, now it's something totally different. I mean, we want variety, but we don't want to go too far outside the box. And so with that being said, let's dive in. I think I'm going to bring this one over, but change it up a little bit. Bring the bass over, sub bass. But we want it to be similar to the pattern that's being played. So I'm going to chop it or cut it a little bit. Just like so. Perfect. All right. Now, I want to bring in more of this one because as you can see, this, it's the same instrument being used, but I'm using different wave tables and different modulation in them. So for example, and if you look at the modulation, I've got serum frequency, I've got the LFO tool, and auto filter, which is not being used there. And it's similar with the others as well. Serum frequency, frequency again. That one's kind of similar to this one. Well, actually, no, I'm sorry. It's reversed. And what do we got? This one's just normal. The LFO tool is doing the, I'm doing sine wave here to give it the tempo change. And I think I'm doing 1/8. Yeah, 1/8. All right, so, when I use the LFO tool, I don't usually go full max for the volume for this to be used. I go about between 65 to 80 tops for the input and for this to be in use. So think like dry and wet. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double the last one here and bring it over. And listen to it again to refresh. So this is where I'm going to change it. First, I'm going to delete the automation from the frequency because I don't want to be repetitive. Find a nice set. Try right there. And change the wavetable. No, we don't want to be an analog. Let's go through some of these. Let's put this on loop and have it be tedious listening over and over to find the sound that I want. Actually, let's go with that one, but let's bring in another. Mute that. And I want a really pissed off square. Put them together. grab the same baseline that I did here because it's got the same automation from this one. Even though I removed the automation for the frequency, I still want the same pattern for the LFO to be used. So all together, not bad, not great. And now I want to change, what do you call it? The LFO. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab in another one because I don't want to mess with the 1/8. I want a different pattern. So let's bring in another. So if that was 1/8, let's go 1/16 triplet. I'm going to go with sine just because I like using it. Wet and dry or volume. Let's go 67. Now, when you are using the LFO tool and it's currently turned on, you go to play a note. It's not going to do anything until you press play on your track. So, a little tip for you. Okay, so now let's copy that one. Turn off the LFO tool for this, for the sub. Solid. That's what we want. And decide when to have it on. Because right now it's on everything, which we don't want. So I got to do that now. Otherwise I'll forget and totally mess up everything in the track. And I'll do the same for the other one. Make sure I'm on the correct one. Device on and off. Pencil it. Off before and off after. So if I play these two together, they're going to play exactly the same tempo of the sine wave or the sine that I just chose. And the ducking that you're hearing, that's because of my volume shaper to duck for the kick and the snare. So let's unmute or unsolo the sub so that we only hear the bass synth. And let's decide when we want this LFO tool of the 1/16 triplet to be used. Cut. Cut. Oh, look at that. I already messed up on this one. This is volume. Great. We wanted device on and off, not volume. See, I already messed up. Okay, so if we just copy this and paste it, get rid of the new one and just paste it, it should automatically be exactly what we just did on the synth bass. I thought. Maybe not. Actually, you know what? I think you're right. It's not. Nope. Okay. So what you have to do is as long as you're on the LFO tool, device is on for both tracks, and you highlight this one, copy envelope, and then just paste it. Now the sub alone, soloed out. Oh my god, that's the 1/8. What the frick? That's the 1/8. Oh, Good to know. Copy and paste doesn't work for the LFO tool because this one, like we set, was 1/16 triplet. So what we're going to do for this one is just tell this one to be the 1/16 triplet instead of backtracking, undoing everything. Everything's fine. Good. And together. And all together. Wow, that just sounds like crap. Okay. Well, we definitely don't want that. So, because it sounds like doo-doo, I'm actually going to scratch it. Deuces. And I'm going to get rid of that LFO tool. And that bass for now, because it just doesn't sound good. Okay. Let's try to incorporate something new instead of making it all repetitious with different wavetables, because it was good during that section here, but nope. See, this is how my brain thinks. It's kind of crazy. All right, so I'm going to bring in a new instrument, a new synth MIDI. Oh yeah, and the key of the song was A sharp, I believe. Yeah, A sharp. All right, so what are we gonna make? Bow, bow. I think I want like some rhythm stuff. Oh, where's that one that's in my head? It even says rhythm. But that's not the one I want. The style that I want. Oh, I'm just going to have to go through and dig. That's just what you got to do. I want like that high pitched. Hard to explain. Cool, but eh. No. Where are you? Eh. Just kind of looking for that sound, then we're going to shape it all after that. Because I mean, I could dig through all my wavetables and stuff to try to find it, but it's the same thing. Just with different automation. Nope. Nah. I need to start, like, they need to, like, when you create a preset or you purchase some preset packs, they need to have like kind of like when you go into this window, this right here. But instead of it having it in this window of rating your presets, they need to have it like here, to where it's like, oh yeah, right here. It's this one was a 4-star. It must be pretty good for when I rated it. Instead of being like, well, I just loaded up pierced ears here. So if I click over here, it's going to tell me that, oh, yeah, this was a good one. Okay, let's go back. No, let's just put it right here. How about right there? Instead of putting a comment in there, you know? Just saying. Because that's what it's all about with Ableton. I mean, production flow. But Serum, obviously, is not Ableton. But still, let's add that little trait in it. Nope. I liked it, but not for this style. Oh, I think that was somewhat it. It's close. Laser giraffe. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're cool, all of them. But it's just not the sound that's in my head. Okay, let's see what this sounds like. So it's gonna go right there, right to there, to there. Okay. Another thing I do is once I decide the note that I want to be played, or the MIDI, you can drag it, but if I want this to be the whole thing and just modulate what's being played from it, I hit legato and it sends it across. Okay, now let's get some sub, get some warmth in that. And that I'm pretty sure was 1/16. Yep. All right. So sub bass. This is the 1/8. Let's grab in the. I'm pretty sure 1/16 of a sub is gonna sound like doo doo, but let's just try it. You know, let's go 100% for this one. Let's see what it does. Yeah, it's 1/16. Not 1/16 triplet. It's just 1/16. But Serum, it doesn't really show it there either. It sounds a little weak. Let's look at the level over here on the right. So we're about just below the line of the center from panning over here, just to get a visual. But if we go over here, oh yeah, duh, because it's on everything. It's just a little weaker, just a smidge. Okay, so we'll go there. Audio compress. That way everything is nice and level, no peaks. And it stays right there. Doesn't go past. Alright, let's make sure it's off on everything else, because otherwise it will all just mess up. Alright, let's get a refresher. It's only the beginning, but still, of the second half. Bow. Yep. So we're going to do that again. But we got to get that little filler. That sounded pretty good. All right, let's get another instrument here. Oh, and by the way, when I do my sub bass, I don't, oh, there it goes. I don't remember if I mentioned what I normally run on my sub bass in the last series. Compressor to keep everything level. Nothing ever goes over the threshold of what we would want it to. EQ, that's usually where I roll off the beginning, because that's that muddy section. And then I roll it off towards here. That way everything else in the mids and the highs can come in. Nothing is battling each other. And then I saturate the sub bass. I usually use I think it's called Synoid fold, and soft clip everything else. I don't touch. Everything else is to taste for your effects that you want to do to sub bass, toys, bells, whistles, and then I make it mono. Because your kick and your sub bass, you want it to be mono as hell. All right. So let's grab another bass synth. Oh, better save. Always save. Always save. Let's get some Reese stuff in there, maybe. I mean, some of the stuff in the first half of the drop already is. All right. So, second half. It's a little off. It's cool, but I think it's because of the 1/8. Yep, I like it. I like it. Put some toys on it, make it brighten up more. All right. I like what it's doing. Might do some post to it. As for sound design goes, not just your EQ and all that stuff. Oh, I need a new like mic setup here. I think next time I'm just gonna like shoot this thing straight up in the air and down, because this doesn't work. Because it's like, oh hey, how's it going? It's annoying. Just gotta get used to it. And let's turn off my EQ here. This is what I usually set for all my bass synths. Like I told you in the sub bass, I'm rolling it off right here. And then my bass synths come in this way. That way everything works together. This should be moved over a little bit more, but actually it's kind of safe because the sub bass kind of rolls off like this, which means we have a little bit of room right here of nothing going on except for like your snare. That's where your snare would come into play, and that's usually in this frequency range, so it kind of works out good. All right, back to this. See what we got here. Oh, isn't that nice? A little automation on the EQ there, and that's probably this one. Just to give it that little like talking thing going on with it. Actually, it's pretty good right there. Brighten it up a little bit more for the automation, the EQ. Oh yeah, let's get some sub in there. You guys are probably thinking, why don't you just copy and paste? I don't like to all the time. Besides, I think I might want to have either automation or I cut parts out of what I just want to be played, because different patterns require different patterns for the sub bass as well. Because it's cool that one solid note of sub is being played across to go with this, but let's see what this sounds like. Yeah, I like that. Let's brighten it up some more, give it some dynamics. It already has it, but let's give it more. That's just too squashed. Not doing it. And probably the OTT would be worse. Yeah, it just brings everything out, including the reverb. Because I know it's here. There you are. All right. Yeah, let's do it. Automate that. Verb phaser width, that can stay. Yeah. So octave up, octave down. That's all that is. Oh, you know what? Actually, I gotta turn the EQ back on. Oh, it is on. Cool. You know what? I don't have no spread going on these synths. I mean, I do already because of Serum. Like if we go into the effects section, you've got your hyper dimension. That already gives it spread, but let's see what it sounds like if we add some more spread with the VR Fat. Not needed, just because I already have it. All right, back here. Ba-da-da. Let's bring in the voice again. Oh, what to put here? Yeah, let's double this and bring both of these right here and change the wave form. All right, let's try that. Sloop off. And we are going to grab you. And then grab the other. It's just too high end. It's too high pitch. Like, that's all right. This one is just crap. Let's go back to the octave and bring both of them down. It's cool, but now let's slow it down. Configure the rate. Let's give it some variety. Yep. Okay, now we gotta pay attention to this. So this is gonna be solid. Let's tighten that up. Doop. Make sure it's playing from there. And then all together. Fix the bass on that. Okay, now we need not filler, we need different stuff right there. As those vape channels, you know, when they're reviewing the vape products of everything that's coming out, it's like, oh, yeah, there's a nice product here. Let's take a vape. And that's how they do it. They're like, check out the cloud, you know, just to show that it gives good cloud. I don't care about the cloud. The cloud's, all, you know, it's whatever. I want the effect. Nicotine. Yeah. All right. So, synths, and more synths. Whoops. I didn't want to do that. I want to put it inside of the group so everything is nice and toy like a turtle. A little thirsty. All right. Play with a section I haven't played with in a while. Oh, look at this. The barely alive bass that I tried making. Neato. What do I got under my user ones? Oh, yeah, these. Oh, yes. Yeah, we're not gonna get into those ones for that. That's a story all on its own. My nose. It's making me want to sneeze. No. No sneeze. Oh, the old VR. The virtual riot packs. Oh, man. Oh, man. I don't know. Yeah. Grab the other voice, 'cause I'm gonna want that there. Yes. Mm. Mm. That's crazy. Oh, ha, ha, ha. Mm. No. Oh, I'm just not feeling them. I'm not feeling them. The Posty Hip Hop Pack. Like a rock star. Nope. Marshmallow. Yeah. Oh, look, a rhythm pack. Didn't even know I had it. It's there in the list. Just didn't even know it. Okay. Sure. It's just an octave. I like it. But not for this one. Oh. All right. Writer's block. All right, let's move. Move around. But, well. Okay. Sure. Oi. sounds a little weak. Needs more toys. Gotta make it talk right from the correct LFO tool. Crap, it's the wrong one. Alright. I don't feel like adding in another LFO tool to make it just do it for us, so let's go right there. 2, 3, 4. Perfect. How do you do that thing you do? I don't know. Alright, this guy. That's what I wanted. It brightens it up, and the voice comes out more. Get that more high end of the EQ going on. Surprisingly, it's peaking, but it sure doesn't sound like it. It sounds weak. Oh, that's because I got the group turned down. That's right. By the way, if this track is awfully soft for you, the volume of it, I might have the volume setting correct in OBS for the output to give to you, but most of the time when I write my music, producing it, I usually have my levels low in the mix. So like, for example, if we go to the first drop, you'll see over here, nothing is going past 0. I try and stay around the negative 6 dB. That way it gives me more room for mastering. So usually when I'm creating, I have my volume, whether it's on my sound interface, headphone volume, whatever it is, earbuds, I crank that up in order just to get it to standard listening level so that I can create. And then later on, when I go to master, that's when everything becomes loud. I mean, I could, right on the master, just throw on like a limiter and then just bump up the gain. But then, depending on the setting that I have on OBS, that might be too much or just right. I don't know. This OBS stuff is new to me, so once you set your levels, there it goes again. Damn you, Rode Arm. I know you're made for studio mics because they're heavier, and this mic is not heavy, and that's all I got to work with right now. I'll be getting more. Don't worry. I'll be getting more condenser microphones. But in the meantime, I'm stuck with what I got. All right, let's finish this damn drop. We gotta do some EQ on that because it's hurting the ears. Roll it. Better. I want the low version. And that's all those are. That's just pitched. You got the normal octave that I wanted to go with, and then I just recreated another one with a different pitch. And yes, this is a Cymatics Vox Chop loop. Shout out to Cymatics for that. Thank you. The reason why I wanted to have this loop incorporated into this track is because I like the chord progression that's being used from the vocal chop. So yeah. I like that. So then I used a serum patch that I created, and it was an ARP. So one of them is going like a higher pluck, and then I have a sequenced pad going underneath it for the other oscillator. And then right here on the serum, oscillator on and off, oscillator A on and off. I have it off, on, and off. So then this means that when it's off, I'm only using the pad oscillator that I have in the patch that I created. And then I turn on the ARP of the pluck. So yeah, it goes really well with the Vox or vocal chop that I grabbed. So together, just for those two tracks, soloed. And you get the idea. So then I just kind of went off of that, and that's where we are. All right, back to this. Because as you can see, I try and talk about a little bit of everything because it kind of helps me vent and take a breather from still just grinding and creating stuff when I'm stuck on something. Because I could have kept rocking this song last night, just producing it and just go, but then I feel that when I just put too much time into a track in one session, it usually turns to crap eventually. It's just like a writer's thing that happens to me. I mean, yeah, you have all your toys and plugins and effects at your disposal, but sometimes you just get burnt out and you got to be like, hold it. Right now, this track is good at the where it's at. Take a breather, come back at it a different day, and here we are. All right. So refresher once again for the brain and see if I'm missing anything. Obviously, we need to do like white noise and maybe some more crashes, more percussion. I'm not sure yet, but. I think that's pretty good. Let's bring in some more white noise. I'm just going to dupe these. Got the down and then the up as well. Perfect. And then these ones, I actually have to fade those in. I don't want them just playing. That way, you know, the white noise going down, white noise climbing up. That way both of them are breathing. And then as you can see, I don't know if you noticed from listening to the snares, the second half of this whole drop, I'm doing reverse snares. So then obviously you have just your snare. But then on the second half, I bring in a reverse snare, and you do reverse your snare, but you want to cut it so that the attack of the snare is gone. Others, it's just going to sound like a whip and it's going to be too much of the attack of the ending of a reverse snare to the beginning of a snare attack, just kind of battling. It sounds weird, almost like a latency sound, even though it's not latency at all. So you just got to cut it out and just get the trail, and this is what it sounds like. See? Because if I would have brought in that little bit right there and then played it, even if I did line it up, it sounds like crap. Hi-hat work, I snagged from a loop because for years I've been trying to get this pattern correct. And if I go to my samples here, where are you? Drum loops. This one right here. This one, I love the hi-hat work on it, but it's got a kick and snare in it because it's a loop. So all I did was take the kick and the snares out of the loop and just snag the hi-hat work from in between. But it's not the fact of knowing when to play this pattern of hi-hats in this loop that I understand. It's like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 in between the kick and the snare. It's the sounds of those hi-hats. I've been trying for a long time, trying to get those same exact sounds, whether it's stock sounds, samples within Ableton or whatever, but I like them. Oh, that wasn't it. Hold on. I just like that pattern. So then here, I just pulled it out. And then when the kick and the snare plays, it's not being used. So if we just solo out the drums, get a little sidetracked here, I know. There we go. Cool. All right, it's time to make a bridge. Got the white noise in there. I think my crashes are good on the 1 of every 16 measures. Got the post-production done, clean up, EQ. Some reverb, and then volume control. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this section here and just give it a paste, but over here, see, my brain is already thinking too fast. I wish I could just print it out. You know, it's like, oh, this is what I want. Boom, 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 and it's done. But there's no challenge there. All right, so we're going to bring the intro instrument back in, but I want to filter it. So we're going to bring the frequency down. Let's solo this out so we can hear it. See what it sounds like full. All right. That works. Okay. As well as, well, yeah. Okay, so I want the frequency to build a ramp. And I also want it to do the same thing on the vocal here. But we got to remember to turn off this filter. Anything from before. Because otherwise it's just going to be on it. Same with the vocal. Let's grab that reverse snare. Copy here. And that's 3 bars. Yep. And grab all of these ones here to bring it all back. Because this is like the calm, and then this is bringing it back. But I think I'm going to change the beat here instead of just what it was in the intro. It works, but I don't think I want that. Take that out. Take the reverse snares out. No, don't hit the mic. Stay. It's killing me. You have no idea. All right. I want like... Oh, what is it? It's a certain loop, a drum loop that I found. Oh, what was it? It wasn't a one shot. And percussive is going to be all one shots. No, 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 no. Getting close. Let's try that. Let's see what that sounds like. New audio track. Make it yellow, because that's how I like to have my drums. And we'll just call this percussive loops. Sure, that works. And let's just grab this. Says 140. My track is 150. Ableton will try to warp it from 140 to 150 according to the Beats algorithm. I'm going to bring it down to Complex Pro, so it kind of brings it back to normal, but yet in the tempo of my track. If that makes any sense. Okay, so might have to do volume control on the percussive too, but we'll see. That's why I gotta take those out. The side chain. Not bad. Let's see what that one sounds like. Complex. Give it some variety. Change the color so we know it's a little different. All right. That kind of works. All right, now we're going to bring this all back. Going to bring the percussive down a little bit. Okay, we got a lot of dynamic range going on here. I don't think that's the right word, just dynamics going on with this percussive loop. I want to make it so that all the elements are not necessarily the same velocity, if that makes sense, the same volume all across the grid. But I do want to add like a compressor so that other elements, transients stand out from the quiet ones within the loop. Okay. See, yeah, that might make sense for you. So I'm going to bring in the compressor. Solo. See, because you see the low or the solid green and the faded green, this is your peaks, whereas this is your RMS. And I want to bring it so that it kind of just touches the RMS. But we still have a lot of peaks going on. So what I want to do is I want to grab a limiter. And because our track is -6 in dB volume, I'm going to bring the ceiling down some. Let's try -3. So now, as you can see, it doesn't go past this line. So, you know, even though the peaks were higher, everything is now kind of staying there, and it kind of brings it out more. If anything else, bring in some multi-band compression. Kind of brightens everything up more, transients and stuff. So let's try that. Might have to turn it down a little bit more. Let's visualize it. This is the track right here. I'm going to pay attention to my kick snares in this area here. And not just the volume control, more like the signals. And I want to make sure that this is kind of matching it. All right, that's cool. Besides it just being like that nice light work, percussive work stuff, I want to have another kick, but a filtered kick. It's not similar to my kick boom. That's too much. That's more like an impact. We want let's just go audio track. That's fine. Make sure it's the right color. And let's just go to my library, everything that's within Ableton and stuff that I've used, imported, and I'm just going to type in the word kick. I want a tight kick, nothing with a lot of trail. Kind of like that, the attack of it. Yeah, let's just try that one. Percussive work. And we're just gonna go 4 on the, well, not 4 on the floor, but. And then we're going to just filter this track. The whole thing. I'll still turn it off before and after just for processing reasons. Computer power. Right about there. It's nice. Compress it. And then visualize the signal with the rest of the song. So now as you can see, my master here, we're peaking 2.77 decibels. So what I'm going to want to do is grab every track. This is the safe way I like to do it. I like to grab every track highlight them all, and then grab a solid number, because sometimes I have like 11.5 or, negative 0.1. I grab a solid number. So like this one, for example, the percussive track, I'm going to lower the decibels of all of them by, say, if it's -6 and I want to go 3 more decibels lower, we're going to go -9. And that's going to bring all of them down 3 decibels. So now when we listen to the bridge, because we were 2.77 and I lowered everything by -3 decibels, we should be safe. But doing so, got a little close there. But doing so, the audio that you're going to be hearing is now going to be 3 decibels quieter. So. All right, so the bridge has got a little bit too much going on for us, still bleeding past 0 dB. So the kick that I brought in, it's just the kick is playing a kick. Technically, it's playing stereo because I haven't put it into mono. So I'm going to go to utility, make it mono. That way it's going through center. Then I need to bring in a MIDI track for my side chaining for the volume shaper. I think that's what it's called, right? Yeah. And on the MIDI track, just hit one there. Then I'm going to fold it. And that's where the kick is being played all the time. So this is going to send the signal to volume shaper via MIDI. And now it will duck. So now if I solo out my side chaining plugin, and I'm ducking everything every time any note or MIDI is being triggered in this track, I am ducking the audio from the song, not the kick and the snare, but from everything else. 1/8. So it's just literally cutting the audio there and then playing it after for the duration. And that is just the right amount of time of the attack of a kick or snare to be played. And that's how I roll. I used to do 1/4, but that makes it a little bit longer for it to duck. So you'd want to do like 1/4 maybe in like house music, whereas 1/8 you want more of a tighter mix because of all the basses and stuff going on, more busyness. So just because of the style of the music, want everything nice and tight. I need to hear this instrument again. Oh yeah, that was my little ARP that I made manually. Initial preset, I chose basic spectral shapes with a filter high pass 24 to kind of clean it up, and effects, spread, compress, reverb. That's about it. So because I really like this part here that's playing along with the melody and not just the ARP that I did, I want that to stand out a little bit more. So I want to add a compressor. And you hear that attack right here? Ting! Let's bring that down a little more. There we go. So now let's see how it sounds now that I compressed it. It's going to make it a little louder. It might have been too much, and then that's just volume control. Sits pretty well. One thing that's always going through my head, you know, like a drummer or something, I guess we'll call it, is this part here, especially these ones. Instead of just going 1, 2, 3, 4, I want it to go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, shorter. So this part here. Start it again. That's what I wanted. That's what was going in my head for a while. So it made a tweak. All right, this here. We need another one there. Doop. Right there, but cut it in half.
Kush is my cologne and I'm smoking out the zone.
Okay, this is where it gets fun. So let's just grab the kick and snare here for now. But it's going to be different. Grab the snare, cut that. Cut that. So it's going to go boom. Boom. I have a feeling it's going to go farther for what's going in my head. All right. So this is going to be something totally new. So we're going to make a whole different group. Don't need to name it yet. This, I want like some LFO patterns going on. A little bit more busy work. So let's check out, mess around with, just to get started. Rocket powered sound. I think I did some of those already. And of course, tweaked them, whatnot. Shirk. I want something gnarly, something gritty. Yeah, let's go with the old-fashioned yoy. All right, let's get some patterns. Not what I want yet. All right, let's just keep it the same. That's 1 bar. So that's going to be, it's not what I'm going for, but man, you are awfully loud. -14. Let's do that the same for this for now. So that's when the beat comes back in right there. But this isn't what I want. Bring this back up, sorry if it's too loud. Not gonna go with the yoy. Bring this down just a little. Sub. Rhythm. Shout out to Wubbix for these awesome patches. I hear nothing. Let's see what this does. Be like War of the Worlds type sound, maybe. Maybe. Grab it, modulate, ramp it. We need, that's cool. I like the ramp effect of what it does. It's a nice, like, feels like a square wave. Diminished a little bit. I need an attack bass synth right there. Then have it be followed, still following the ramp of that synth, if that makes any sense. So we need just a whatever, you know. No. No. Oh, nightmare. Good old nightmare. Nope. What? Okay, let's see what that does. But I'm not gonna have it dry. It's just gonna go like right here. Yep, that's it. That's all I wanted. And then we're gonna add in a return. And we're gonna do reverb. Make it massive. Wet. 75% for the decay time. And that's like 60%, but whatever. EQ to clean it up, get rid of the low, and compress it to make it stand out. And then tell this track that we want that reverb to be played right there. So if I soloed it, that's insane. That's not that much of what I wanted. So we need to bring this back. Actually right there, but not have it so much on the track. Okay.
Not the zone.
Okay. Let me get the metronome out.
Not the zone.
Right there. Cut it. Bring in the snare. That. Oh, you bastard. Okay, that comes back in. And now we need some sub to kind of bring life. Oh no, I gave it the smallest tap. Guys, if any of you out there that understand this Rode boom really well, please educate me, because I understand that this boom needs a lot of weight to it, but it feels like there's some settings in this thing that you can do to not make it so high tension of how it works, because it's annoying as hell. If it's possible, I mean, please put it in the comments below. That would be great. All right, sub bass. This one. Oh, it sounds so quiet now because I dropped those decibels on all the tracks. This guy is going to creep up, and instead of just doing volume control, because otherwise we'll get the red dot there forever. It's annoying, letting us know that there's volume been done, and if I make tweaks, then you can't do it as a whole. So I'm just going to go with, where are you? Just utility. And have it be turned on just for that section. And gain. So right where it is, that's 0. That's where we want it to be because of the volume of the track. Bring it down and then ramp it. So, yep. But we're going to bring this up a little bit more. Yep, bring it down. Yes. Yes. All right, I need to group these synths because they're too loud. Let's check the volume on those compared to the others. -5, -5s. Okay, so we're going to go, oh, look at that. It was already a -5. -5. And then group. Rename. Bass synths 2. Grab the same rack. Throw it on bass synths 2. Check the master volume of the group, -14.6. So we're going to keep that the same. And now the mix should sit a lot better.
Kush is my cologne, and I'm smoking out the zone.
That's what we want. See, it's just going through my head, and that's how I'm printing it. Gotta take off the reverb. Excuse me, I burped. Man, bought it. Yeah, you get the idea. New synth. Save. Always save. Sometimes I don't do it all the time because when you get more stuff on your song that it takes longer to save. And a good tip for that, if that ever happens to you, like you're processing computer CPU processing is getting overloaded, but yet you're not even close to being done with your song. A trick for that is to freeze your tracks. So like this one, if we were done with all these, no post processing, toys, effects, and you said I'm done with this, you would just go to those tracks and say that you would want to freeze them. And to do that, you would just right click, not inside of here, you would right click on the track itself and say freeze track. And that will just kind of turn it into a temporary audio track, nothing more. So then no MIDI is being done. It just converts it to audio for listening, and it reduces significantly of your CPU processing. Yeah. I'm going to turn up my headphones a little bit more. All right, this is just where we want some like crazy whatever going on. It doesn't really matter. I mean, it matters, but just we gotta wow stuff. Nope, not even close. Let's go back to Wubix. Annihilate. You know, I don't even think we want like simple synth stuff like this. More like effects. So let's see what's under Omega. Not much for effects. Sequence, no. Give me some effects. Backing noises. Oh, my processing is actually starting to move up there. You see that? It probably has the whole time. I just haven't noticed. All right, so it's going to go for this one, for example. Too much high frequency crap. It's because of this reverb filter. And look, he's shooting it up in the higher spectrum. Oh, cymatics. What the hell? Alright, I kind of like that little screeching sound. Not screeching to where it hurts your ears. Because we did a little tweak there. I'm going to do an EQ on it. So let's dub that. And then go back to Serum. And I want to tweak. Yeah. That one. The touch me knob. And okay, sure. I want a little bit of notes in there. Of course, there's no sound if that happens. No. Fuck. What do I do? No. Well, let's do this. Let's make a duplicate. We'll come back to it. We'll mute that one. And let's find something else. Same one there. Goliath. Oh, we got a nice little handful. I didn't hear nothing. Interesting. It's a build. Ooh. I like that. That's kind of cool. Bye-bye. Okay, so... delete sub off, whatever that is, for this preset patch. Yeah, we'll just leave that there. This can say bye-bye. And what we want is a different octave. So this one, we're going to go lower. You know, there's probably a keyboard shortcut for that, but I just don't know it. Throw it in the comments. Help a brother out. Cool. All right. Save. Get the pinwheel. I think I'm running regular Sierra, not high Sierra, because that's just ridiculous. Not needed for a Mac Mini. And honestly, I don't even remember how much memory I have. I think it's 8, I think. 8 or 16. Oh, it's 16, yeah. Yep. 2.5 i5 processor. Nothing out of this world. Basic video card. But for Mac, when creating music, it's so much better than Windows. Windows sucks. Sorry for you Windows users. Trust me, I know. Windows sucks when it comes to making audio. You know why? Because you have to install drivers for a sound card, whereas a Mac, you can just plug it in and it just knows 90% of the time, but it's still good to install a driver anyways. Then you get all the bells and whistles. And then, like, say, for example, you load up this DAW, Ableton, and you forgot to plug in your sound interface. Well, guess what? You can't plug it in after the sound interface software, or after the DAW has been loaded, because Windows doesn't like that. You have to turn your sound interface on first, then load up your DAW so that it recognizes it. It's lame. Yep. Moving on. Oh, I bumped it. I'm surprised it didn't skyrocket it in my face. Stupid. Nope. Not gonna bring those back yet. But we're getting there, kids, folks. We're almost done with the song. Working on the second drop. This actually, New York time. It's 10 o'clock right now, 10 p.m. Gonna work on this some more, and then we'll turn this into a part 2 of the series of studio time, because I don't want to complete this whole song in one night. Like I said, I like to come back at it. So part 2 will probably consist of finishing this song further completely and then mixing it down, post-production, and then studio time 3. Part 3 of this track will be mastering. What else? What was I going to say? I don't remember. Yeah, let's just go. This, I want some like busy work going on in this little section from here to here. LFO patterns, you know. Actually, let's bring in the Barely Alive that I created. Let's hear that again. Shh. Maybe. I should have just recorded that. Okay. MIDI. We don't want that. We want it to be busy. Right here and right here. We want it more. Doop. Oh, I went too far. Bring it back. We're gonna change that section right there to be that, and then the other one we're gonna slow it down a little bit to about here, give or take. That is what we want. But okay, so we got. We need it. Sounds like it's pouring outside. 'Tis the season. Fall. I am not excited about winter at all. I know some of you might be, snowmobiling, skiing, sledding, snowboarding. Yeah, that stuff is fun, but I hate driving in it. I hate it. Why am I here? Goliath. Let's see what Goliath has to offer. Bink. Nope. It's cool, but nope. That's not what I want there. I want to, It's so hard to write this without the low end. I mean, I could turn off my little dubstep EQ, but just keep going on. You know, let's go back to that one. Where are you? Speed it up. Pitch it. let's try it. So from this one, yeah, but we're gonna bring the attack LFO, I guess we'll call it, shorter instead of having it creep up so much. This part right here. Yep, right there. Aww. That sounds awfully fast now. I just wanted it to be like boy, but it's because of the tempo of the song, probably. Hmm. Yep, that's right. Okay, because I brought this in, now we're actually going to use it because that was like the creeper thing for the intro of this drop. Serum modulation. That sounds so funny. I think that needs to go down all the way. Oh, no, it doesn't actually. Because right here is when it starts to sound good. Right there, right there. Why is it so quiet? Oh, because the sub is with it. Okay, so... we're missing something here. Right there. Yep, and now we need to bring in vibrato. Let's see what they offer for the vibrato on this. And we're going to do it right here. That was too much. No. LFO. Do I have LFO on this track? I do not. Sign it. Yep. But we won't only want it here. Yep. But now we gotta make sure that it's off everything before and after for the LFO tool. Stupid. And pitch it. I think we're going to pitch it. Configure the pitch wheel. And we're going to go 6 and 6 up. So, pitch. Yep. Because that's like a nice not announcement. What's the right word? Nice way of showing that it's the end of this section. Okay. So let's get some subs going on here. Try and get this section done. So this is all going to be go every other. And go every other there. Find the LFO. I think it's this one. Turn it off there. And grab the other one. Yeah. This one, we're going to bring it back over to the other one because it's the same. Oh, actually, I have to change this. Yep. Actually, this could be done. So let's turn that one off. And cut it. Actually, just double this so I don't have to mess with when it starts from cutting it. Ah, you bastard. Because I copied it. Gotta turn them off again. Yep. Cut it. Okay, this one. We're gonna go. I think I want. Yeah, I want this dupe to play the note, but then I want to automate our pitch on this. Yeah, we'll just go 2. Let's see what that sounds like. Pitch bend, drop, decline. Yep. And here. Getting there. Oh, we're getting there. Light at the end of the tunnel for this section. Kinda. Alright. That's there. There's that. Grab. Yeah, we'll just grab you. It's fine. Dupe it. And trim it. And make a new base. MIDI. Solid note it. And this is pitching how many? 6. So that means crap. If I pitch bend this, it's only going to go 2s. Let's see what it sounds like. It's not going to work. All right. Let's just make this 6. It's fine. So now let's see what the other one sounded like. Oh, that's actually better. All right, you notice there's no drums there, as well as white noise, and reverse snares, crash, so on and so forth. Paste, delete. Okay. Grab you. Oh yeah, I gotta tell those new bass, the group, to be sent to the sidechain. Whoops a daisy. Now it will sound cleaner in the mix for the kick and snare to punch through. We're gonna need cymbals, crashes. Dang, dang. That's actually gonna go here. Yep. Cool. Clean that up. All right, that little first section is done, I think. Oh no, I don't have hi-hats, do I? Those guys. Yes. Yep. Okay, so cool. Now, should I do another one? Yeah, I should. See, because this drop, the length of it is this long. And I was thinking of bringing this back towards the end of this second drop. But I have to write another section of this length first. That right there. I have to duplicate that length of more stuff going on. Then I'll be bringing this section in. But I think that's a good stopping point. Let's save this beautiful bean footage. And I am DJ Bone. And like I mentioned in the last Studio Time series for Desolate, the 26th, which is next Friday, my track Enemy comes out on all stores, outlets, whatever you want to call it. It's single. It's not an EP. It's not a full album length yet. But yeah, I will be continuing this track probably sometime tomorrow or next day maybe. Give it a breather, like I said, and we'll go from there. But otherwise, stick around, subscribe, like, comment, enjoy, and I'll see you guys around. All right, until next time. Peace.